We're at the end of April. Typically I would have already had my broccoli in. You know the drill. What's going on today, Maureen? The weather has just been ridiculous everywhere, and some people even have it worse than others. Here on Vancouver Island, we just mostly have it cold, and so I have not been getting my spring starts out, and it's just been getting ridiculous. Yesterday,
my Kidult and I rebuilt my...
Yesterday, I was having trouble with words today. Yesterday, my Kidult and I, we rebuilt the greenhouse. It did take some thinking because the instructions weren't there, so knowing which corners needed to go with which, and I did get a new plastic, and I'm hoping that this one will last, because last year when we had great big winds it just tore it right off. I'm needing my large greenhouse because I need to get things moved out into it to make room as I'm potting up things, because the space is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. We're at the end of April. Typically I would have already had my broccoli in. I was also struggling with the aphids and the gnats, and so things were not being able to grow properly. I was fighting them, and that's mostly under control. There still is some aphid issue still on my peppers, but as I seem to pot them up, you know, I give the pepper leaves a dip into the water, and that kind of gives a fresh wash, and then once I pot it up, they do seem to do much better. But again, the greenhouse gets quite warm, and so it would be nice to actually be able to bring some of those things out in here, just so that they're getting, you know, real sunshine. So my cabbages, they're not looking, well, this one doesn't look too bad, but they're not looking the greatest. So I do want to let them just have some time out here in this greenhouse, just so that they can have some extra sunshine and fresh air. And I'll let them sit there for a couple of days, and then I'll be getting them into ground. Plus, I'm not sure where I'm going to put them yet, so that's the other thing I'm kind of wasting time with. So in the greenhouse here, I've brought out the flowers. I've never planted a lot of flowers, so I'm assuming they're going to be fine coming out here into this greenhouse. And then got the cauliflower, and then I've brought the onions. So I'm going to be planting the broccoli into garden bed number 1. I have 2 varieties from 2 different companies. I love the gypsy broccoli from West Coast Seeds. It's beautiful and lasts long, but I'm trying another one from Farms. I'm going to try their broccoli, and I like to put it into garden bed number 1. Yeah. I have 8 of the gypsy broccoli and then 10 of the And what I've done on this side, there is a couple of the broccolis that they might not make it, so I've kind of put them more along the path, so that if they don't make it, that's going to leave that strip for me to put something else in. Didn't put any across the back here because I do have a lot more su choy and bok choy coming out, and so I'm wanting the broccoli to kind of be the barrier for the choys, so that as the summer gets hotter, they won't be so hot. I've also left the strip that's right in here that I can also plant something else. I don't know what you are. Should we leave you be? I think we will. There was tons of worms as I lifted up the coffee sacks. So basically what I'm gonna do is just again dig our hole. Because these are all nice and single. Woo! Nice big worm in there. Look at that baby. Nice fat one. He's not as long as what I usually have. So I put in my slow release organic fertilizer. Pop out our broccoli and get him in there. You can go back, Mr. Worm. So the broccoli is in. I do need to get some more pieces of coffee sack and just put them there. So I don't have any mulch, so I'm using the coffee sacks as my soil protector. And that's what I actually put over the gardens through the winter as well. Things are gonna look good. I have to say that some of the broccoli, the roots weren't looking really great, especially the smaller ones. But even the bigger ones, the roots weren't really great in there. And I wonder if my soil was too compacted inside of the cup, or if it just wasn't healthy soil like I had last year, where actually my soil was basically poison. I had 70 tomato plants growing and everything died, and I had to start from scratch again. So they haven't died, so that's good. And being here in this garden is filled with my own homemade compost. So they are going to be able to get the nutrition they need. And next weekend, we are going to have temperatures up to 20 Celsius. So it's going to be nice and warm for them. Yay! My 3-tiered garden, this is where I do the tomatoes. Normally I have about 10 tomatoes in here, and then I do have bars across, which then I can string them up. But this year I'm only going to put 8 in the top bed, and I will put 6 here of the Romas because they are determinants, so they're not going to get very tall. But in behind here on this tier, I'm going to be planting my romaines so that as it gets hotter through the summer, the romaines will stay protected behind the Roma tomatoes, because this is a super hot spot in my garden. The sun is on it from probably about 11 o'clock on. So it is a really great place for my tomatoes, but it's another great place that I can put my romaine. These romaine are not very big, but I want to get them out anyway, because I think they're going to just do better out here, getting some natural light. I've just flipped back the layer so that I can keep the coffee sacks around, and then we'll be able to put these ones in. Again, we've refilled these beds up full with just some fresh compost. So that's going to give some great nutrition for the lettuces here. I think I should have started this one back farther just in case, but it's all good. And now the lettuces are in the garden. Yay! To finish up today, we're gonna cut some Swiss chard because today is Sunday and it's family dinner, and I've got a pork roast and some potatoes cooking up in the oven. And so I wanted to bring in some fresh veggies. So I'm gonna pick some Swiss chard and some beet tops to cook with dinner. So I just love Swiss chard for the reason that it's such a healthy vegetable. This is one of those vegetables that's cut and come again. Now this has been growing since last year, and I wintered it. And so we have all of these fresh greens here at the beginning of the season. And we can do this cut and come again. And if you've never heard that term, it's exactly that. It's cut and come again. Just like the romaines. I have so many planted here, and then I have more in my deck planter. We could cut the entire romaine head, but then we have no more romaine. As you cut it away, it continues to grow more throughout the whole season. And so that's one of the reasons why I have so much romaine. Being an urban farmer in the city here, I'm limited for space. So utilizing my garden beds to plant multiple things, using the shade of the tomatoes to protect the lettuces as it gets hotter. That's one of the reasons why I do that. We've eaten off of this Swiss chard quite a few times through the last year. And also we've already started eating off it this year, and it's so good. It has a better texture than what you get with spinach. You know how sometimes spinach makes your teeth feel funny? I find that Swiss chard doesn't do that at all. That's why I like to grow it. Plus it just keeps giving to mama, and mama loves that. I've got some beautiful beet tops here that we can trim down and cook up for dinner tonight. These beets actually probably look like they're getting close to ready to be picked. Maybe not. And now I get to weigh these for the Global Gardening and Homesteading Challenge. Yay! So we will tear this up so we get to 0, And then we will put in our Swiss chard. So 587 grams. And our beet tops, we don't need the scissors in there. It's easy to just pour it in. And 478 grams of beet tops. I swirl them in just some salted water just to get that initial clean, first clean, and to kill any unwanted bugs, and then we'll go through a rinse. I hope you're having a great day wherever you are, and I hope that you are getting some things into the ground, and for those of you that are still under cold temperatures, I hope that you have hope that the spring is coming. I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Take care. God bless.